Welcome everyone. Today it's another product review. So it's Pico Scene Static Grass. It's a static grass applicator. I know there's lots of these on the market, but I thought I would do a review on this one as I've had it for some time and never used it. So it's quite interesting. I normally buy my own static grass TUFTS. There's loads and loads out there. This kind of thing is mostly used on dioramas, things like that, purely because you don't want to stick 1,000 static grass tufts within a couple of inches. You know, if you want to do a whole field, a whole landscape, you know, around a riverbank, something like that, something more like this is what you want. So a static grass tuft, for those who don't know, is something like this. So you can see a single tuft there. Yeah, you could buy and stick that on. So, you know, you wouldn't use this on something like this, but in this video I'm going to show you how you can make a whole sheet of your own tufts. So there's loads of different companies out there, from Games Workshop to Woodland Scenics, make their own tufts, things like that. But with this, you can make your own tufts on a sheet. That's what I'm going to use it for, because most of my stuff's wargaming. It's not for dioramas. But this also applies to you train enthusiasts out there, or someone who wants to make a diorama. This is great to use it straight on the scene. It's great. But for this particular video, I'm going to show you how to make your own tufts on a sheet of greaseproof paper. So I've just cut open the box gently. Inside, what have we got? Hopefully it's a static grass applicator, because this would be embarrassing. Okay, so box to one side. We have a pin, which is quite useful if you were making your own diorama. You would stick it in the diorama, and there's your earth point, and then you can work static around. So you could stick it into a base, let's say, and shake this all the way around, and that would give you a static grass look. But in this particular video, we're using a metal sheet. So what do I mean by that? Well, you can have any old metal sheet, but of course I'm at home at the moment, as many of you are, and I'm going to be using an old oven tray. So you can see this thing is well used. My dad's obviously killed this thing by cooking many a pizza on it, or frisbee as I like to call it, because that's what they are afterwards. They are useless. So I'm going to get an old baking tray, something like this, flat as possible, you know, so nothing with curved edges ideally, and in the good old oven paper, greaseproof paper, whatever you want to call it. This stuff is totally fine. I mean, there's silicone paper out there, that will do. The idea is, you know, you can apply the glue to it and then the grass, and then once it's gone off you can easily peel off the tufts. So you could use it a few times if you wanted to, or you can just keep it to one side for many a year and then probably forget about it if you're something like me. Because I have several sheets of different types of static grass, from green to slightly green to brown, slightly brown, those alien looking tufts like fluorescent greens, blues, reds, pinks. I've got loads of different static grass, as I'm a bit of a hoarder. So I will fit the battery to this thing, which is in here, I believe. So it is quite a jolt, as you probably imagine. It's static, you know. If it was a tiny little AAA battery or something like that, it wouldn't give you the charge you need. So once you fit the battery, making sure it's in the off position first, just fit it back inside of here, making sure the wire's out of the way. The cap is screwed on tightly, because this thing, there is a bit of a caution on the back of the box. It will give you a little bit of a tingle. If I turn this on now and held that, I would get quite the jolt. So this is the hopper. This is what you put your grass in. I mean, you can tell this one has been used in the past. I bought it second hand because they are quite expensive. Now, maybe in the future I will show you guys how to make your own static grass applicator, because I don't know how much this one is new. But I have seen one with a bigger hopper, because if you're doing a massive diorama, You won't want to keep filling it up all the time, I saw it at a show when there wasn't a lockdown, if you can remember those times, and it was about £80. So, you know, prices do vary, but you can make your own one if you're very, very careful with like a fly swatter, and those electric fly swatters. But I won't go into that right now. This is just a product review on this particular one. So it doesn't feel cheap and nasty. You know, it's got a nice grip to it. It's quite nice and rubberized. So if you do accidentally get a shock and you're holding this, you should be fine. It's not going to send you reeling across the room, so don't be alarmed. It's not mains voltage. All I believe inside is a little capacitor, and it just builds up the charge. So you get static rather than full-on mains electric. It's not like a massive step-up transformer, you know. So it's pretty straightforward. You fill your hopper up with whatever flock you use, and I will grab a box of flock right now. So what I will be using is this nice sun bleach container here of a Games Workshop static grass. So you could apply this to a base and that's fine. It just looks like it's slightly flattened. But if you notice on static grass, if I can zoom right in, there's got a bit of a length to the blade of it. And the idea of this is, once you put a charge through it, these should stand on end. And there's different types of lengths of grass. You know, you could get one that's about, I'd say I've seen 8mm lengths, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is quite long for a tuft of grass in our hobby. Usual things apply with static grass. Put a mat down first, or a piece of newspaper, because this stuff will go everywhere. And if you apparently if you're under 3, you shouldn't be using it, which maybe I should get an adult. I'm not sure if they meant mental age or not. And third thing is, do not sneeze in this stuff. Done it once, and I was picking it up for weeks, mainly with the Hoover because I got fed up in the end. So this particular GW grass is great because it's more realistic, I think. It's not just a flat green. There is some browns in there. I do have some brown static grass somewhere. I could always sprinkle a little bit in there, mix it up, so it looks a bit more realistic again. But we'll try a bit of this. I will fill the hopper, probably off camera because I will make a mess. What's the fun in that? Come on, let's do some. Right, okay. Let's see if I can spill half of it on the floor, shall we? Right. Let's do it on camera. Make myself look like a right jackass. Okay, so all I'm going to put in there for now. Didn't spill too much, but like I said, make sure you have some newspaper or mat down first. If you can help it, keep it reasonably upright, because as you can see, it comes out of the gauze. That's the whole idea. Now there's different variants. Like I said, there are cheaper ones out there on the market that look like a tea strainer underneath, and the gauze is quite flexible. But from what I've been told, that's not the one you want. That's just me putting a lid on the static grass so I don't knock it over. Very sensible for once. The domed type ones, the ones that have like a mini sieve underneath, or like a tea strainer look to them, they're fine, but because it's domed, it doesn't apply the grass evenly. Whereas this is a nice flat, even surface, so it should apply the grass evenly. If you want random results, that's fine, because you know tufts of grass aren't going to be perfect out there and not all going to be the same. That's fine, but you can't control the results. But with a flat gauze, you should be able to. So what I'll do now is I'll get my noisy metal tray and wrap my crinkly paper around it off camera, because you don't want to hear that noise. Just apply a little bit of tape so that it doesn't slide off. Okay, so just like that, as if by magic, I've applied the greaseproof paper to the tray. So the nature of this is it's not supposed to allow things to stick very well to it, so the tape there is just a precaution so it doesn't waft about or anything, just keep it relatively tight. I mean, the sellotape will not stick to it properly, that's the whole idea of it. So it's just there just to secure so it doesn't slide around. And I left a little bit of a lip to one side, purely because that's where I want my crocodile clip to be. So that's the whole idea. We're using a metal tray to to be conductive. So the charge should go through the crocodile lead, giving some kind of static look to the grass when we apply it in a minute. So what are we going to use to apply? We're going to use some good old standard PVA. So as you can tell, I buy in bulk. And you can apply this with tiny little dabs if you want to, or if you want to do a long string of PVA glue for your static grass. Like if you want to use it around the edge of a building, what do you imagine the tufts for? Are you going to use it around a lake, so you want a little circle of a tuft? Or do you want around the edge of a building, or maybe along the edge of a canal, something like that? So if you want a line, that's fine. If you want a little circle, a big circle, 2 double circles, just have a bit of fun with it. But for this, I'm going to use a paintbrush and just put tiny little circles all over. So I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I'll take the lid off the PVA glue, get an old brush. Okay, so something like this, nothing too special. And like I said, you can apply it any manner you want, but I want to do a big drop like so, like that, and I'm going to do another one next to it. It's not too close, just a big drop like that. So that's the kind of size that I'm aiming for. But remember, you can do what you like. So I'm going to come back after I do several of these little drops. Okay, so as you can see, I've done different size blobs. So I've done like the largest one there. And I've tried not to be too perfect, too round, but on the smaller ones, I have gone a bit more circle, which is fair enough. So I've just done random sizes, and let's see how it goes. So, static grass applicator, applying the crocodile clip to the edge of the tray. So some of these trays aren't as conductive as you would like, but we will try this particular tray. So hands away from the metal if you can, so I am miles away from the metal. I am turning this on. As you can see already, it's drawing quite nicely. So it should be pulling mainly towards the tufts. Sometimes you'll need a second pass depending on how much glue you've got on. You can see, like so, the grass is being pulled towards the glue. There you go. Turned it off. There will be a little bit of a discharge for a second, so you might want to wait a second before you touch the tray. And yeah, knock off the loose and see what you think. So I've just disconnected it. Now, like I said, using newspaper or something like that would be useful. Just going to knock off the loose. There we go. So you can see the sunlight streaming through there, but I will zoom in slightly. So there we go, our little static grass tufts. Now I think it's worked better with the smaller ones, but this is the Games Workshop fairly short static grass. You can get some quite long blades, like the tuft I showed you previously, like this one here. You can see that is quite a long tuft, which is a lot longer than what I have on there at the moment. But that is the generic Games Workshop static grass. This one here. But there are longer tufts out there. So you can get 3, 4, 5. I've seen 8 mil in length grass, which are obviously quite tufty. But there you go, that's the basics of it. I'll wait until it fully goes off and we'll pull it off the sheet and I'll show you how you can apply it to your bases. So I think you'll find that the smaller ones give a better effect when it comes to tufts rather than just even grass. So I'll try the same trick again with smaller tufts. You see that the grass is mainly getting drawn to the PVA. So there we go. So it looks more tufty, if that is a technical term, when it's a smaller drop of PVA glue. So if it's a larger drop, it seems to spread more evenly. Like I said, with the flatter gauze, it seems to be a fairly even application. With the domed ones, it seems to peak in the middle. So if you want a tuft that's higher in the middle, then the domed ones probably give a better effect. But for a nice even lawn, possibly, I would definitely recommend this one here with the flatter gauze. So if you were doing a diorama with a nice even flat lawn, I would say the flat gauze is probably better. The domed ones are probably better if you want to make an individual tuft. Okay, so here are the lovely tufts after 24 hours. PVA glue generally takes about 24 hours to go off, and now this stuff, live on camera, will probably go horribly wrong. I'm just going to try to pull it off of the greaseproof paper. So like I was saying, greaseproof paper shouldn't allow this stuff to stick. Look at that. Straight away, I was going to use some tweezers, it just came off of my nail. So easy. That is amazing. I'll try these little tufts. Little fellas, come on. Oh yeah, nice. Really easy. Just catch it underneath of your nail, or what little nails you have. I have short nails. There you go. Nice and easy, and they should spruce up any base. So I am going to put it on some of my Death Company Marines I've just got going on here. Like so. Base is a bit bland, is a bit boring. So what I'm going to do is put a spot of super glue on the base. Now stick a tuft there. So I'm going to put a little bit of super glue just there, just the tiniest little dot. And now I'm going to stick one of my tufts. So I'm going to go with a nice small little tuft. And I'm just going to stick him onto the base like so. There we go. Adds a little something to the base. Just like that. So get creative. You know, you can make strips with this stuff. You can make big tufts like so. It looks more like a lawn. Or tiny little tufts. Just have a bit of fun. I mean, the static grass applicators, you know, come in different price ranges. Obviously, generally, the more you spend, the better the quality. This thing was great. I didn't have to shake it too much. It just adhered to the glue straight away. So this is the Pico Scenic Static Grass Applicator, and I recommend these mainly for flat lawns, but they are pretty good for tufts as well. So think, how much is a pack of tufts? Like somewhere from like 7 to 10 quid, something like that. And you probably get what, about twice this? So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you can make your own and sell it to your friends and live off the profits, but maybe over a long period of time it might save you a bit of money. But it's just fun to use. It's incredibly mesmerising watching the static grass stick to the glue. And it is great for your big dioramas. And I know that's what it's built for, really. But just have a bit of fun with it. So I thoroughly recommend this product. Like I said, because of the flat mesh, it is better for flat lawns. And the curved ones, like the T-strainer looking ones, they are better for tufts. But yeah, it is a fantastic product. Really easy to use. You know, I mean, the greaseproof paper doesn't cost anything really. Metal tray, you can use anything you want, from tin foil to, you know, your old baking trays, stuff like that. But it's a fantastic, easy to use piece. Just obviously remember, don't touch the metal while you're using it, because you'll get a bit of a shock. But there you go, guys. I really rate this product. Thank you very much for watching, and please hit that like button, and if you haven't done already, please subscribe. Take care.